See what it does. I think I will actually click on the. I will just see what happens. Because I don't know if it shows on here how many people are on.
I think it does.
Yeah, there's people commenting already. So
awesome.
I think there's a little bit of delay when you do the StreamYard versus how quickly it shows up on the YouTube app that I use. But
cool, man.
So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Yeah, it shows there's only like 6 people right now. So let's see. Young says no watches on the way for me, but did get some new straps from Strap Mill Canada at a nice discount thanks to Random Rob's discount code. I've had so many discount codes offered to me, and I'm not very good at keeping track of everything. I should actually like catalog that stuff and keep better track of it, because it could be communicated to everybody once in a while like that. And I'm not very good at doing that.
Hey Robert, you remember? Tell me the story. It's been a long time, but when you first started, when I first met you on YouTube, your screen name was it B20 EF?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm surprised you remember that.
Yeah. What's the story with that?
That's from my old Honda days. So one is an engine code and then one is a chassis code. So the B20 or B20 is an engine code. It's a B series inline 4-cylinder that Honda used, 2-liter, and then EF is technically, I guess, a 4th generation Honda Civic, and that's the chassis code they used in Japan. But us Honda geeks, we called them, EFs, even though I think they were technically like EDs or something in the US. But I go back a long ways, like when engine swaps really weren't mainstream, and I swapped a B20 engine, which is out of a Honda CRV, into a little Honda Civic. So it's just that classic muscle car type thing where you take like the bigger engine, you put it in a smaller car, and then you have like better performance and everything. So
that's awesome. Here I was thinking you just like really loved beef or something.
Yeah. No, it's a horrible name, and it's only like small segment of the population that would identify that, like even see that and be like, hey, what is that? It actually means something. So
I got to tell you, man. I've already told you this before, but I love that new Ford Bronco that's coming out next year. And I can definitely see myself maybe flipping a watch or two and getting one of those. And you've got to get your Jeep, and I'll get the Bronco, and we've got to go to Moab here and just have some fun in Southern Utah.
I'd be game for that. I don't think I'm going to take the main Jeep I have. I'm either going to build the Grand Wagoneer that I have, or I really would like to purchase like a JK, like probably a 2-door JK Rubicon. But they just hold their value so much, so I just have to go spendy on it and just get it. But I have not researched that Bronco a ton. I did a quick look, maybe a couple of videos and stuff like that. But that thing looks, it's definitely, Ford is stepping their game up to like legitimately compete with, the Wranglers, where where you can strip panels off and actually like have that open concept and feel.
Well, they're bolt-on panels. Bolt-on panels is crazy. I've never seen that.
So you can strip it way down. It's more modular. You can do all kinds of crazy things, and it's also, I'm sure there's different packages you can get in it, but it looks like they're very capable as well.
And they have the coolest name for one of their packages, the Sasquatch package. I mean, it doesn't get any funner than that. So I got to get a Sasquatch.
That's an inside joke, but yeah, that would be awesome. What are the price tags on? Probably 40 plus.
Oh yeah, if you're getting some of the good stuff, it's going to be about 40. I think entry level on a 4-door is about like 30, 31, and then it just goes on up.
So how messed up is it that, like, at the beginning of what you just started this conversation, is when that comes out, I might sell a watch to buy a vehicle, a brand new, not like
a
Kia.
depreciating asset that's stupid, you know?
Well, right, but I mean, just the like, it's hard to make that connection for a lot of us. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to sell a watch and buy this brand new car. Well, it's like, well, no, I'm wearing like a $500 watch, you know. So that's not too many people can say that. Like, where I'm
Yeah.
going to be like, well, I could probably just sell a couple watches and I could go buy this brand new Bronco. That's 40K.
What's kind of wild is, I mean, I spent 10 on the Hulk, and that thing is worth like 17, 18 right now. And I spent, I think, 20 on the VC, and that thing's worth like 23 right now. So, I mean, 2 watches is a Sasquatch package specced out, you know.
Right. So
Bronco. That's wild.
If you get in a mood, you're just like, well, I'm going to wear other watches and I'm going to drive that new rig.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, and really, both those watches you mentioned, especially the Hulk, it's not like it's a temporary spike. It's probably going to stay there.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it might go up more, but like it's definitely not going to go, like, even if it dipped, like maybe 15 if it dipped, but I just doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
And that's, I mean, you can pretty much bank on that. I mean, you got to look at the history. You know, we talk about that where people say don't invest in watches, but
some watches are pretty decent,
it's risky,
though.
Just like any investment, but you can base it on history, just like everyone watches stock markets and everything else, or property or whatever. You base all your risk management on history. The history of certain watches, especially Rolex, you're probably going to do okay.
Yeah.
I sold that maybe like OP39, and now what are they trending at?
I don't even know, but it's probably close to what, 9? I'm guessing.
Yeah, close to
probably
double.
Probably a lot more than what you sold it for.
Yeah, so what did I pay for it? I paid, I forget what they were, 59, 57, something like that. And I think I sold it for like maybe 100 or 2 less than I paid for it. So it was almost a wash. But that's the flipper way. Buy high, sell low.
That's right, man. But that one, I don't know, that one is so dang pretty. Like, it's going to be a classic one day, I think. Just the way they did that silver dial. And now it's a 39. And apparently with Rolex, they're moving away from 39s. They want the Explorer to be special. So that's, I think, going to be the only 39 in their lineup. So yeah,
you like go classic, but
what's that?
For now, even that might change though.
Maybe, yeah. We certainly don't know. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think honestly the Oyster Perpetual, as much as I'm drawn to it, the 39 and even the 41, I think they're just, every time I get obsessed with it and I feel like I'm going to go the path and actually just swoop one up, I feel like I'll put my Black Bay 41 on and I'm like, this suits me better. It's more of like the working class of that watch. And really, if I get a Rolex, I really want the Mercedes hands. So, and I get that, the special handset on the Tudor Black Bay 41 because I get the snowflake hands. So.
Yeah, I love those hands too. So cool. People always, every time I do a video with those hands, someone always says how ugly they are. And I always say, you're absolutely wrong. They're so beautiful. The snowflake hands are so great.
Yeah, it wasn't even a matter of them growing. I mean, the snowflake hands, I was a fan of them from day one. And they're even better every time I wear it. So I think if I were to go hunting for a Rolex, I think I need to try one on at some point, which is going to be difficult, but the the Explorer 2 white dial Polar.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm usually not a fan of the GMT, but I love the splash of orange on there. I love the white dial. You don't see white dial in the lineup typically, especially like that stark white.
And the black printing for the text and stuff. Yeah. The hands are big. That thing is such a great watch too.
Super legible. Mm-hmm. So it becomes more timeless too, because as our eyesight deteriorates and everything, plus I would have the Mercedes hands. Those
Cyclops.
Yeah. So maybe I should buy one of those.
So here's the thing then. All right. So a year and a half from now, what we'll do is you'll bring your Jeep and you'll be wearing an Explorer 2. And I'll sell my stupid watches and maybe get like an OP turquoise and a Sasquatch package Bronco. And we'll just go out in the desert and have some fun and maybe shoot some video. I'm down for that.
A year and a half?
Well, I mean, the Bronco doesn't come out till later in 2021, so it's got to be a while if I'm going to have the Bronco on our
All right.
expedition.
Well, I could do a test run. I could come out now.
I would love that. Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, I want to. I'm not going to bring the wife's rig, but like I said, I either want to build the Grand Wagoneer, which would financially make more sense, but it's also a 93 and it's a piece of crap. But or I should just buy the Wrangler that I actually want.
And then I've got a parks pass, and so we'll hit up all the beautiful parks down there, or at least Zion's. We got to do Zion's at least.
Oh, for sure.
Do some really fun stuff, and
for sure.
Yeah, be great.
Well, you could rent. I think there's places out there that you can rent.
Oh yeah,
vehicles like equipped Jeeps or Toyotas or something like that, and just go out too.
Yeah, side by sides, all sorts of. You can rent just about anything down there. It's a huge part of the industry. The local.
Yeah, I think as soon as things like calm down a little bit, I'm not going to drive out. So on this next trip, but I will fly out probably to Vegas, and then my parents moved recently to what's it called, Mesquite, Nevada. So not too far from Vegas.
Oh yeah.
So I'll probably fly out to Vegas, go meet up with them, and then I'll probably drive up and visit you and Giro and check out the. So I enjoyed the last time I was in Salt Lake.
Well, we'll rent something in Moab then. We'll do that. That'll be awesome.
Nice. That would be awesome. Reading a couple of comments here. Dirk's in California, so he could blast over, and he's got.
Heck yeah.
Dirk actually has a lot of experience in off-road vehicles. He was involved with some teams and doing some like pro level stuff.
So we'll actually have an expert there to keep us from making really stupid decisions.
Probably.
I love it. Yeah. Dirk can wear the Air King, right?
Yes. He could wear the Air King. You know what? The hobby for Dirk and for a lot of people has escalated quickly, really, because I talk to him often.
Yeah.
And
Planet Ocean, Seamaster, in addition to his Tag Heuer and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And he's looking. He hasn't stopped. Like he isn't satisfied.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Parker. I see Parker. He's in St. George. Actually, he's a young watch enthusiast in St. George.
Oh yeah, you just showed. Is that the one with the
yeah, his grandpa's Seiko. Yeah, yep. Seiko quartz. So that's way cool.
Yeah, Giro's chiming in. We got a few people. Honestly, 44. Usually when I do my lives on Monday, there's usually over 100, and I'm sure your audience gets bigger too. But it's Thanksgiving, man. A lot of people are doing family stuff, and so I get it. And I didn't really. I don't know if notifications are going out and all that stuff too. So it's fun to just pop in once in a while and just have a small meetup.
What we'll have to do is I'll get StreamYard for my channel, and then I'll have you as a guest, but we'll like schedule it a few days in advance, and I can promote it too. So we can get some more exposure and stuff. I think that'd be great. Yeah,
that would be good. Yeah, I could set it up, actually be organized, but I'm not. So that's definitely something that you could probably do.
Random style.
Yeah. It is what it is. So the StreamYard thing, you get a certain amount of free. So like you don't have to buy it. I think you can add it. I forget who I was talking to that you'll max out. I think it was Chris from the Watch Lounge said that he's maxed out his and stuff. So
I'll probably buy it so I don't have that stupid icon up there at the top, the duck or the mallard. You see it?
You know what? Yeah,
powered by StreamYard.
You don't put them out? Oh, so if you buy it, you don't have that.
You don't have that. I think you can put your own logo. I think it might be even easier to operate. I'll have to look into it, but I don't think it's that expensive.
Maybe I'll invest in it too.
Yeah.
If we're going to do more live streams, I don't do a ton of live streams. So, and I know there's a lot of channels out there that really focus on them and they are successful with them, but I typically don't mess around with them too much.
I like the idea of a live stream because you can kind of interact with people that are tuning in, and it's easy. Like you set it up and you can talk. You know, like for me, I'm not editing. I'm not looking at lighting. Right. I'm not doing any of that stuff. And, I think it's fun. So
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah. The instant interaction. And then, it's like you said, it's just straight up easier. So Nick is asking a question here. Any thoughts on the Laurier Hyperion? So I think that might be the new GMT they're doing. I could be wrong. There's a couple of is it Baltic? I think Laurier and Baltic are both dropping uh, smaller sized watches that are well built and GMT. I'm not sure what movement they're using, but um, I'm typically not a huge fan of GMT. I think they look really good. I just don't find any use for them, so I typically just steer away from them. It's not a complication I need in my watch. I do like the way they look, though.
I haven't seen the Laurier, but I did see the Baltic, the pictures of that one. And I think they're going to be really, really popular. Like Rob, I don't know what movement they're using. And the thing that I love about a GMT is the jumping hour, a true GMT. So if it doesn't have it, I'm going to have zero interest in the watch. But I think they do look pretty attractive. At least the Baltic one that I saw. I haven't seen the Laurier yet.
Yeah. So I'm basically with you on that too. And that's where, if I were going to own a GMT, it would probably be the Rolex GMT, where it has the jump hour, because I think that's the way it's intended to be used.
Yeah.
And why has no one come up with an automatic movement that operates that way?
Well, Omega has,
okay.
And it's in the Planet Ocean. It's in the Aqua. I don't know if I can't remember if it's in the Aquaterra. I know it's in the Globemaster, and it's in the Seamaster 300. But you don't have an extra GMT hand, which is, kind of cluttering up the dial a little bit. It's just about the jumping hour, and it's fantastic.
Yes, I agree. So it's not a GMT. It's just a quick set for the hour.
Yeah. So you lose the quick set date, but you get the adjustable or the bumping hour. And I wish every watch had that. I think that's far better than a quick set date.
I do like that. And that was one of the draws that I actually had for the Aquaterra. I do like that feature. Does that also carry over to the Railmaster?
I'll have to look it up. I can't remember. I don't think it does. Yeah, I don't think it does, because Omega started going more toward the 8800, which is in your Seamaster, and that one doesn't have it, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. But, oh well.
Yeah, it's still an awesome watch, right?
Yeah, they're all good. I like. There's so many watches I like at all different price tiers. Before I forget, I do want to ask you, because both of us have right now that new Oris Aquis with the new 400 auto movement in it with 120. And I'm reading the comments, and I'm sure you're getting blasted with it too. There is a ton of negative or / concern with the crown when you push it and pull it, and the jumping of the minutes hand.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So obviously the gripe is you're paying a premium for it. It's a beautiful movement, insane, well done movement, but some people are viewing it as falling short with that quirk.
Let me tell you my thoughts, Rob. I think it's going to bomb with the watch enthusiast community. People are going to hate that because it happens from time to time, and it's annoying. And I think with everybody else, every normal person in the world, they will give two Tinker's toots about it. So I did not have it on the first one that I got from Saltzman's. That one, I hacked it several times within the few days that I had it, had no problems with it. This one that Oris sent, I think it took like 3 days before it happened on this. And it doesn't happen every time, but occasionally it does happen. I've been wearing this for a week straight, and it's happened a few times, and I find it mildly annoying, but I think the majority of the watch community are just going to think it is the stupidest thing, and they're not going to buy the watch because of it. And I think that's a little silly, because it's annoying, but man, for the mid twos, what they go for, it's still a fantastic watch, even with a couple little niggles here and there, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you think about that, Robert?
I think you're dead on. I think the watch fan, the community that we're in are going to pick it apart, and they're just going to be like totally dismiss it because of
negative Nancy, right?
Negative Nancy. But if you were to do a pros and cons list of what you're actually getting for your dollars, the cons are, and not put any emphasis on how big of a deal each pro and con is. Just make that list.
Yeah.
The cons are so few. Yeah.
And the pros are
few. Yeah. So, and it's like, how often, especially if you can actually, get a decent power reserve out of it, or if you throw it on a winder or whatever you want to do, how often are you really fiddling with that? And if you do, then you just fiddle with it a little bit more, and you get it dialed in, and then you're done. It's not like you're constantly setting your time.
No.
And the accuracy of it is very good.
Yeah, I don't know if Oris, because I know you have one directly from them, but they told me that they regulate this new caliber to tighter than COSC. It's the exact same spec that Omega does for the Meta certification. It's -3 to +5. Yeah, I think it's -3 to +5. And I haven't gotten worse than +3.5 in one day. Most of the time it's either 1 or 0 in this past week. So super accurate. Like, got a lot of great things going for it for sure. And I think that's a good idea. I think a video I was thinking about making for this is listing out all the good things next to a Seamaster, like the one that you have, because I mean, they seem to be so comparable. They're the best value at like mid-4s and mid-2s, and how
100%.
close are they, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that'd be a fun video.
And Ron Anderson commented, when one of the cons is that you can't properly set the time, it's a big deal to me. So again, you're hyper focusing on that minute hand moving. You can set the time properly.
Fine. Yeah.
It might jump on you the first time, and you might be like, oh, it's going to take me 2 seconds longer or a minute.
Yeah.
If you're fiddling with automatic watches, you kind of have time to fiddle with them. Otherwise, you're just going to wear an Apple Watch or whatever and move on. So,
I was going to ask you, are you wearing an Apple Watch? Because you got one, right?
No.
You got one for your wife? I thought you got one of them recently.
Listen, if your spouse or your significant other is going to be into watches, try to get them an Apple Watch. Okay. And they'll just wear that all the time. And then you have all of the watch budget. Like, because the people that are like, oh, it's so cool, you know, my significant other's into watches with me and stuff like that. Now you guys are competing for the same money. Don't do that. Get them an Apple Watch, or tell them that watches are done. Just check the time on your phone. Like, don't compete for the same hobby.
I'm so glad. Every time I show my wife, like, I'm like, hey, look at this beautiful watch and stuff, and check out this, and she'll go, oh yeah, that looks nice. And that's almost always what she says. It looks nice. Right. Rarely will she actually be into the watch. So she humors me, and it's so nice that she has her own different hobbies and I have mine, and it's easier on the wallet that way.
Yeah. So, and again, people are going to keep commenting on that Oris movement. I want to, one more thing on that. I'm curious to know if over time, because it's an alignment issue with the dual barrels is what we're being told, right? So,
yeah,
you know, because there's more gears, there's more stuff going on. Will it improve over time the more you use it? I don't know.
I don't think it will. No,
but because they don't really break in, I guess.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, and I think you can understand this too, Robert, but when everybody loves something, I don't. And when everybody hates on something, that makes me like it even more. So if there's a bunch of negative Nancys moaning and groaning about it, I'll be like, heck yeah, look at this freaking Oris. You guys can suck it.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know.
Well, the Oris Aquis is a wonderful watch on its own. And then when you put such a special movement in it, yeah, it definitely elevates it. So yeah. I would be fine with the Quarks. Now, will I buy one? No, because I want the titanium one. Having this one and wearing it, it's actually a pretty light feeling stainless steel watch. Yeah. I feel
it's lighter than my Lake Baikal is a little bit heavier than this one.
Really?
Just a tad, yeah, just a tad. I think it comes down to the case back, because they do a special case back and it's thicker. Okay. So I don't know, but
that's got to be where it is. Hopefully you can weigh both of them. It might only be a couple of grams, but you can feel
it's not much. Yeah, you barely feel it. Yeah.
Okay. And then the titanium is just ridiculous because it kind of looks like a stainless steel.
Yeah.
And it really messes with your head because I don't know what it weighs, but it's very light.
They did great with that. I don't know what grade of titanium they're using, but it really does look like steel and really nice.
So again, people are going to be asking, Parker is asking, he says, I wonder if they're going to work out all the problems with the movement in ones they produce later. Parker, I don't think they're considering this a problem.
They don't, yeah.
Considering it's part of how this movement works.
Yeah, in their eyes, there's zero issue with it. It's just us crazy watch guys that are making a mountain out of a molehill, I think.
Yeah. Hey, at least things line up.
Unlike Seiko.
Yeah. Let's see, Flomo Fo or something. His name is. He's asking, is the Milgauss getting an update? I don't know anything about Rolex. I don't know if you have your finger on the pulse of that.
Well, every year they say the Milgauss is overdue, and who knows when it's going to happen, really. But I would imagine it would happen soon because it shares the same case as the Air King. Really, it's just a prettier version of the Air King that's $2,000 more expensive. So I would say they're going to change it up, and when it's changed, it'll be a significant change in my opinion.
The Air King got axed, right?
No, it's still around. Yeah, for at least this year, it's still around.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't even pay attention to the higher end stuff at all.
Hey, you got a super chat, man, from the Watch Lounge.
Yeah, Chris, thanks. Appreciate it. He gave us props for two of his favorite channels out there, Bruce Williams channel and then my channel.
So awesome. Chris is one of like the most easygoing and nice guys that I've met in this hobby. Just a genuine good guy. I really like Chris.
Yeah. He's super involved in the community and pretty much knows everybody. And I think he's been involved in the community heavily with a lot of people, and he's all part of that, the good people in the community. He's positive. Yeah. So, all right, let's see. I don't think there's a ton of questions. 73 people in the chat, though. That's pretty good. And Dirk's waiting for the Air King to be discontinued, and then it'll skyrocket.
It sure will. I mean, I bet you that's going to be a $10,000 watch and within 2 weeks of that being discontinued. Easily.
The funny part is that's one of those ones, just like, I mean, it happened so many times before, but the Air King from day one, everyone's like, that watch is hideous, it's gross and everything like that. But from day one, people are calling instantly that when that gets discontinued, it is going to be an absolute collector. So
you guys were forewarned, right?
Yeah. You've had years to, pick up an AK and own it and be ready for that transition, including myself. Same thing, with the North Flag. I lost
but you
it
got
after
that
it.
One though.
I did, but then I sold it.
Yeah, that's all right. Flipper life, man. That's the fun of it.
Yeah, and then I sold it for a loss too.
That happens.
That's just me not being patient. And for my personality, I'm actually an extremely patient person. But when it comes to watches, I'm just not.
Yeah. Zero care, right?
Also, yeah, I don't care. Like it's so, and to a certain extent, I almost feel bad. Like, I know this sounds messed up and a lot of people won't get this, but to buy a watch and then to sell it to like profit on it, I don't know. And I shouldn't care because it's capitalism, right? I'm the one that took the risk and then potentially made money on it. But I don't know. I just don't have it in me. And I used to do that. I used to do that with cars and everything. But when it comes to watches, I don't.
Maybe you've just phased out of it. Like, it's a hobby. It's something you enjoy. And if you take a loss and you have less haggle and hassle and time involved, that's actually way better for you mentally than, losing a few $100 here and there, right?
I think so. So. Let's see. Rock the Watch is asking, what watch are you guys getting for Christmas? Do you have something slotted for this year still?
I might just do this one, actually. I might just buy the one that Oris sent because I love it and everyone hates it. So that makes me love it even more. So
yeah.
I might do that. I don't know. I've got a Seiko coming next month. I've already told you about that one, Robert, the SBP 187. And I'd like to get the ones you've already reviewed them, the Captain Willard, the 151 and the 143 that's the 62 MAS with the gray dial. Okay. I want to get both those and then do like a 3-way comparison and then just maybe keep one of the 3. I don't know, but I don't have any set plans right now. I'm fluid and I like keeping the options open.
Yeah, for sure. So, and honestly, all of those ones you just mentioned, it's even if you get them, you're not going to keep them. You're going to end up flipping them, most likely. So, but that can be said for pretty much every watch.
That's true.
So, I do have some keepers. Obviously, I'm wearing the Orange Monster. I usually wear this. This is like my memory watch, so I wear that, on special occasions. So, and then even for Christmas, I'll actually be on vacation. So. I mean, a vacation watch could end up happening if, it's going to be down in Florida. So I don't know how Florida's operating right now. It seems like they're pretty open. So if there's an opportunity to go to a dealer. I don't know how far Exquisite is from where I'll be, but
Couple hours, I think.
or
Hey,
if
I might be going down to visit Exquisite sometime this year. They were talking about having me come out and film, which I would love to do. I think that would be awesome. I don't know when, but we're talking about it.
Like this year or next year, just sometime.
Oh yeah, sorry. I know we're at the end of the year. I don't know, sometime within the next maybe 6-8 months, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
It's probably dependent on coronavirus and optics and stuff too, to a degree.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would if the timing works out. See, I'm in a situation where I have a ton of vacation time because I've been at my job for 20 years, and my wife has just come out of stay-at-home mom job and is now working at a place, and she basically gets like 1 week of vacation. And I feel bad in the fact that like I want to go do all this stuff, and she's just not going to be able to do it. But I'm going to be looking for opportunities. Like if you go, I'm like, well, I could go, help out or something to meet up.
Dude,
and
that'd
help
be
out.
so much fun.
Yeah, so we could set that up.
And you have a relationship with them too. Like you've borrowed watches or you bought your Seamaster from them, right?
I did, but they and maybe it's my lack of communication with them. Who is it? Because it's Nick, right?
Yeah, I work with Nick.
I haven't talked to Nick, so he seems like he was working with you and Guy and I'm so bad with names. The watch collecting strategy. I forget his name.
Oh yeah, AB.
AB. Okay, so he was talking to all those guys, and honestly, I get it because all three of your guys' channels are way higher production, way better, videography and everything, right? So, and more knowledgeable on the watches that you're presenting, quite frankly.
Well, I don't know. I think it comes down to like the luxury. Like we love, the $5,000 plus watches, and that's not the majority of watch people though. They're 500 up to 1,000, 2,000 for a big purchase,
right?
And I don't know. I think you might fall into that category a little bit. Like you enjoy the more affordable micro brands and stuff, and so they don't really have a ton of like that. Like they sell Seiko, but
right.
they don't have a lot of stock of Seiko and some of the more affordable stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm not like mad about it or anything like that. It's kind of the same thing with your relationship with Richard from Saltzman's and my relationship with Richard. Like I straight up told him, because he's offered, hey, I can send you Breitling, I can send you, all these cool brands, which I've brought in a couple, but I'm like, well, what do you have that's less popular? Like that's the kind of stuff that I want to see.
Yeah.
So not necessarily duds. Like he just sent me some that are considered probably duds, but I like and most often it lands in the super affordable range, but just the stuff that most people aren't focusing on. I like to see that stuff. So
he sent a Citizen ProMaster Aqualand a couple weeks ago, and dude, that thing was so cool. But it's such a weird, funky, chunky watch. But that was really fun. Most of the time when he sends me something, it's like a Tag or Breitling. But that one was kind of an oddball, and that was super fun actually to film. I don't think it got a ton of views, but that was really enjoyable.
I guess I didn't realize he had Citizen. I'll have to hit him up on that because there's a lot of Citizen I like. Honestly, for like the other watches you're talking about, Tag, Breitling, Omega, all those, like I would rather, versus me making the video, I would rather watch your video on it or some of these other channels, because I think it's a way better presentation of it, and your level of enthusiasm for that watch is certainly higher than mine. I don't necessarily appreciate them like a lot of people do.
That's funny that you say that, because sometimes I'll get comments like if I do a random micro brand, someone will say like, you obviously aren't very excited. I can tell it in your voice. Then
it's the polar opposite.
Yeah. And then if it's like an Omega Aquaterra, people are like, wow, you love that. You should buy that watch. I can tell you really love that. And I try to, focus on the details, but sometimes you can tell like, man, I really like one more than the other personally. And yeah, it's funny.
Yep, for sure. And then I get these emails all the time for these micros, and I know you were getting them. Maybe you've put up a full-on blocker for them, but
I still get them.
I'll communicate with them, and they'll send me pictures and stuff, and I get more excited about that. So about the conception of the watch and what it is and its offering. So,
well, let's talk about that real quick if you want to. I still get them, and I say no most of the time, because I found I have problems with a brand new company. Like sometimes they'll send a prototype and the prototype just sucks, or it's really good and then their production model isn't that great. And so there just seems to be inconsistency with a brand new watch brand. And so I've started saying, hey, if you're going to send me a watch, it needs to be a production model. I don't want to list 5 or 6 different disclaimers like, oh, I'm showing you this, but this is changing, this is changing, this is changing. It's like, I don't know. I'm not giving you a good representation if everything is asterisks, right? So
yeah, for sure.
So I stick to like Zelos brands that I've worked with a lot, that I know what to expect. I know their quality is going to be awesome. I know their designs, the lume's going to be, fantastic and whatnot. Helson, I just filmed a Helson yesterday, actually. And it's an homage watch. And you know that I'm not a huge homage watch fan. So that was kind of a fun one to do, a different one. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you see the negativity? Maybe I focus more on the negative with micro brands and Kickstarter campaigns, but
no, the risk involved in it, and it seems like lately even more. Maybe it's always been this way, and I just turned a blind eye to it. But yeah, there is definitely these prototypes that I've been getting in, and then like you said, you have all those asterisks attached to it. Like, we're going to improve this, we're going to change this, we're going to do this, and then you're supposed to present that in the video that way. But then when the production model comes out, and this has happened to a couple of recent releases, I mean, I guess I can drop name because it's no secret, but like that Dorenzo Eclipse, awesome looking watch. I really love that watch, and there was cool colors, and it was a great project, and it was well funded. And then they got produced and they got shipped, and they have catastrophic issues with the loom on them. Some of them basically not really even having any loom.
Wow.
So when you're buying a dive watch, especially on a micro brand, most of us are expecting
awesome
loom that outperforms Seiko.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the level that a lot of these micros, well, Zelos, for example, or Borealis or any of those, when they throw C3X1 on it, it's like blinding. It's so good, And
you have loom bezel. It's got to be more than just hands and minutes, right? Or hands and markers.
Like we want a lot of things going on. And then, like you said, I showed prototype with promise of a high level of production, and then the production fell flat on its face. Not the production, but the quality of the product once it got shipped, and that was it. So,
and that's business too, right? That's not just exclusive with watches. I mean, that happens across multiple industries. Things happen, and it kind of comes down to how that brand will get through it and interact and make things right too. I think that says a lot.
Yeah, I probably do need to communicate better when I'm doing these prototype videos, and especially the Kickstarters or pre-purchases, like a lot of companies where you do the 50% down. And like you pointed out, Zelos really doesn't do it anymore. They just launch and sell out. Yeah. But there are some brands out there that are kind of safe because they have their manufacturer, they have everything sorted. So, and then if there's a quality control issue, they'll send them all back and be like, no, I'm not paying you. That's what they'll tell the manufacturer. We're not paying for this.
Like Borealis and Raven, guys that have been around for a long time. Like this is not their first rodeo.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a dud with them. It's not going to happen. So they won't actually get it out. Same thing with like Notice, like especially some of these brands, they assemble the watch themselves in many cases in the United States before it actually gets shipped out to the people that actually bought them. So those ones are safe, but there are a lot of brands, and I have them on the show that there's a risk.
Like this Helson I filmed yesterday, you could see kind of uneven printing. There was a bunch of dust. The hands were a little rough. Yeah. And that was uncommon for a Helson in my experience. But I had to point out like, hey, look at this, as part of, I think everyone really appreciates when you can tactfully call out negative elements and not, just trying to trash it and be negative to be negative. Like, cause that's not cool, but people want to know when something's really good and when something falls short. So actually,
Helson's not, I mean, they're affordable, but they're not cheap.
No, $600 usually for most of their watches. No, I did see, I am going to be getting the Dorenzo watch that's coming out next year. I don't know if you've seen the picture. It's kind of like that integrated design. I think that looks really, really good. I'm excited about that one. I think that looks very exciting.
Yes, I agree. But how many people that bought the Eclipse are going to be like, I'm interested in that, but are you going to take it up a notch? And I think you will because when I was talking to, I forget his name, but when I was talking to him,
Sergio.
Sergio, thank you. I think he's done. He's not doing Kickstarter anymore. I think he's going to launch this one differently.
Good.
So
yeah.
that'll help. I think.
I think we're getting production units too. I don't think we're going to be reviewing prototypes because he has prototypes right now, but I don't think he's sending them out that I know of. So,
okay. Yeah, there's a ton of really good watches out there that I want to see very soon, and I've been trying to do a better job of reaching out to them. And you and I talk to a lot of the same people as well.
Yeah.
So,
what do you want to see right now?
All the watches.
Okay.
There's a push like I was supposed to already have it. I don't know where it's at, but it was a Swiss watch company. They've come out with like a titanium field watch. So titanium, yes. Field watch, yes. I'm kind of burned out of bezels. I know that sounds weird, but dive bezels. So and the lume looks great, and I think it priced pretty good and everything. So I'm hoping to see that.
I love Swiss Watch Company. I got to meet the owners. They came to Salt Lake because they're close in Nevada. And what's his name? It's not Josh. It's his father. I can't remember his father's name right now. But he worked for Swatch. He had a career with Swatch, and he was in Southeast Asia at their production facility that made Rado and different Omega parts and whatnot. So he knows the scene over there, and he only works with the best manufacturers. So the places that make his components and whatnot for his watches, they're the same ones that work with Ming. And so it's like the high end portion, but yet their watches are affordable. Like they're, $500, a little bit more if you're getting some of the other options, but like you're getting top level quality with Swiss Watch Company. But you're not paying a ton of money for them. So I really like what they're doing.
Yeah. That new model should do really well, I think.
Yeah. I hope to get some of them too. Eh? They did email me and I said, yeah, let's do it, but I haven't heard back. So we'll see.
Yeah. Maybe they had an issue or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a lot of new Hamilton out right now too. The Hamilton releases are very good.
Mimo said he was going to send one to me. I don't know. I don't know which one, but I'm super excited. Whatever it is, I love Hamilton.
Yeah, there's a bunch of really cool ones. The full blacked out Khaki King. I know it's probably going to be too small for how I want them, but I want to see that one 100%. Yeah. And then they have some GMT ones, but again, back to the GMT conversation. But they have some aviation. They almost look like a Navitimer.
Yeah. I saw pictures of those.
Those look really good. I don't know. There's so many dang watches. A lot of G-Shock, man. I am going heavy on the G-Shock. I'm going down a rabbit hole right now with them.
I think it's kind of funny. I've had such different experience with reaching out to brands. Sometimes brands will reach out to me like Oris, and I get super excited. I have a fanboy moment. And then I'll reach out to other companies like Autodromo. I've reached out at least 4 times, and I just want a response, and they will not respond to me. And it's like, it's just funny how everybody works a little bit differently. And I don't know. It's just an interesting.
I have that same connection with a few brands that I really want to see it. And some of them have even like teased me a little bit. I don't want to name too many brands, but where they're like, yes, I'll send you one. And then they drop off.
Yeah. That happened to me with Monta. They were like, hey, do you want to review this new Noble? And I said, heck yeah, that'd be awesome. And that was, I don't know how many months ago. So I don't even know if I'm going to get one from them. Oh, well, they're lost, right?
I guess we're going to name drop. Undone keeps doing it to me.
I had to tell Undone to go away.
I kind of did. Actually, I'll text you.
Okay.
I'll share it with you. Maybe I'll share it with the whole world. I don't care. Maybe people want to see this behind the scenes stuff, but it's like so people change jobs in these companies as they get bigger.
They go from company to company too.
Yeah. So like the last email I got from Undone was like, hey, they watched one of my videos where I said they dropped off. So this guy was like, hey, I heard about this. I'm sorry. I want to improve our relationship. So I'm like, okay, sounds good. Blah, blah, blah. I said something and then he's gone again. So like, you just did it again after you said you weren't going to do it. And then
my story with them. Go ahead.
There's all kinds of stuff. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say with me and Undone, the thing that irked me is they're like, hey, we're going to give a few watches out, but you don't get one. We just want you to plug our new watch in your next video. And I'm like, I'm not going to plug some watch I don't have in hand. And then they're like, well, we'll send you this other watch. And I said, I don't want to see that other watch. And then they're like, all right, here's the tracking number. I said, I don't want to see that watch. You guys aren't listening to me. And then someone else emailed. They're like, oh, that person got fired. And I'm just like, you guys are a mess. Like, don't reach out to me anymore. I don't want to deal with you guys.
Right.
So, yeah. Funny.
Yeah. Some of them are straight up not worth dealing with. And then there's, like you said, the other brands where, the Autodroma or whatever, like you want to see it,
like,
and you're going to be a fan of it, and it's going to present well, and it's going to help them sell watches, even though maybe they don't need the help.
Yeah, that's true. But it's even like, I have to say in my emails, because I think they get a lot of people reaching out, different brands do, from reviewers saying, hey, give me a freebie and I'll gift you, 5,000 views or something. And I have to say, like, hey, I just want to borrow your watch because I think it looks fantastic, and here's my channel specs. Like this is what you can expect from an advertising perspective. And I have to say, like, hey, I'm not looking for free crap. I'm not looking for anything. I just want to, I just love your product. Let me show your product. I've got an audience of watch fans, and it's kind of disheartening that they don't even say no. It's like, come on, at least tell me no,
Yeah. They're just completely dismissive. They just disregard you. So then it comes down to like, well, do you just suck it up and buy one, or do you try to borrow one? Because I still want to see it. I still want to video it, but
I guess the longer you're doing content, like the larger you get as a channel, the more opportunity you have for viewers to be like, hey, I have one of those. Let me just send you mine, because they like seeing their watch presented on YouTube. So that kind of becomes a nice thing, kind of a perk, I guess. And you don't actually have to spend your money just shipping costs, right, with a viewer. So,
which again, a lot of people don't understand that. Even that, like, this is way off topic, but like even that shipping cost. So say someone loans you a nice watch, because I've had chances to have people send in nice watches, but I insure everything. So the shipping cost for me to send that back, I will never earn that much on that video. So as much as I want to see it and make the video, like I'm going in the hole doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so you have to say no, unless you're like, all right, I'm going to eat the cost because I really want to see this watch. I totally relate to that. Yeah. Sometimes it's just not worth it, but.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to wrap things up, Bruce. I don't know if anybody else has any questions real quick, but it's been awesome visiting with you on Thanksgiving Day. That's awesome. I appreciate you jumping on with me. But James Duffy says, it's not really a question. I guess it doesn't need to be answered, but he says, LOL, can you actually go further down the G-Shock rabbit hole, Rob? Yes, and I have. And maybe I'll explain it, because it is absolutely ridiculous. There are so many G-Shocks, and I'm talking just squares. There are so many, because they've been making them for so long. There's tons of them you don't even realize exist.
Challenge accepted is what I hear from you, Robert.
Yeah, no one even needed to challenge me. It's like I'm pretty challenged on my own. Let's see. Mike asked, how many watch switches are you doing today? Because a lot of people I've been watching in my Discord and on my just my chats and stuff. It seems like people are wearing like 6 different watches today. Are you doing that?
I'll do 2 today. I'm wearing the Oris right now. I've got some cleaning to do before we have my wife's brother come over, and then I'm going to put my nicest watch on when we go sit down at the table and have some food, and that'll be the Overseas. So today I'm going to wear 2 watches. Yeah.
Man, I hope I get to visit you and see that watch before you sell it, because that thing that's
I'll keep it till you can see it. I'll keep it till you can see it for sure.
I doubt it, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to get out there. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Again, thanks, Bruce, for joining me. And,
you bet.
We'll see you guys on the next vid.